How did you enjoy the 3 days here to just kind of unwind?
It was good, yeah, it was just quiet. Just spent some time with family, so just, a good chance to relax, enjoy the holidays, and back to work.
When is it do you actually start switching to work mode? Is it the 26th? Is it on the plane right here? How does it kind of work?
I think everyone's different. I think you try to do something, every day over the break just to stay active and keep your body feeling good, and then kind of the mental prep. You kind of, or at least I enjoy Christmas and kind of do that, and then yesterday you start to kind of shift gears.
Can you put yourself kind of in Detroit shoes from past experience about a new coach coming in and maybe what kind of a boost that gives the team?
Yeah, I think whenever that happens as players, you think a lot about why your team's in that situation. I've been there, so I would expect that group over there tonight to be competitive and be motivated to come out and play hard. There's always some kind of a response when something like that happens.
You had Todd McClellan as a coach, I guess, at the World Cup. It was.
Yep.
What stands out about his style that you kind of have to watch out for?
Well, I think he's got great experience, and he's a good coach, and there's a lot of talent over in that room, and so they'll be able to figure it out. And like I said, they're going to be competitive tonight. They're going to be motivated, and it's on us to be able to respond.
We learned from Coach that Austin Matthews won't play today or tomorrow. What can you glean from those last two games that you guys have to work on without him anymore?
Yeah, I think that there's obviously some areas for improvement. He's a world-class player that obviously brings a lot to the table for our group. So when he's out, we need other players to take on more responsibility, and I think we can play a better, well-rounded game and just a bit more complete. And I think if you look at those games, I don't think our starts were the best, and that's going to be an area of focus.
As a unit, defensively, would you like to? Is there an impetus maybe to be more offensive as a group back there, or are you just worried about the defensive side of things right now?
It's a little bit of both. I think every guy is a little bit different and brings different stuff to the table. So you might get different answers if you ask everybody. For me, I want to be able to contribute offensively for sure. And I think as a group, our main priority is team defense and gap control and playing the rush and breaking the puck out and all those defensive things. And then there's elements to our game where we have to be able to contribute. We have to be able to make plays, give our forwards opportunities to get time and space, and help those guys out as much as we can.
At this point in your career, does it matter if you have a consistent defensive partner or not? Everyone kind of looks at it a little bit different.
Yeah, I think my main focus is always on myself, and I always am going to strive to be better, and I like to think that I can take on really as much responsibility as I'm given, and I expect myself to be able to handle any situation. So that's kind of the way that I view it.
How'd you spend the little 3-day break?
I spent it with family and here, and so got to relax a lot, rest. Definitely needed it. That schedule got a little bit hectic there at the end for our group, and it definitely showed in our game. But it was nice to relax and spend time with the family, and now back at it. Given
you have the 3 days, you mentioned the last two games, how much during that break do you allow yourself to start preparing for that game, or do you wait until the turn of the 27th?
Yeah, it was obvious that everyone needed a little bit of a rest there. Every team deals with it when teams are waiting for you, and seem like you've been traveling every day and playing a lot, and we've been playing a lot of hockey, and it's a good lesson. I think that in those circumstances, you probably got to tighten up defensively and maybe hold down the fort a little bit better than we did, obviously. But those tough situations kind of build teams and make teams who they are. And like I said, we had 3 days to rest. We're going to play a desperate team right now that wants to impress a new coach and make a little bit of a statement. So it's going to be a lot of intensity out there tonight.
The Leafs center dilemma: who can strengthen the roster? If you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan like me, you know the team's center depth has been a constant concern this season. With Austin Matthews set to return from a mysterious upper body injury next week, the excitement of having our star back is palpable. However, there are still serious issues to address in the center position to keep the team competitive and, of course, fuel our playoff dreams. David Kampf, a key piece in the center rotation, is sidelined with a lower body injury. As if that weren't enough, Kaye Jarnkrok is still recovering from surgery, leaving another gap in the lineup. Max Domi, expected to be a versatile asset, has been placed on injured reserve, further aggravating the situation after missing consecutive practices due to lingering pains. To sum it up, the Leafs are missing 4 functional centers, and the pressure to act is mounting. James Myrtle, a respected Leafs analyst and contributor to The Athletic, highlighted a series of potential trade targets to address this dilemma during his appearance on the J.D. Bunke's podcast. Among the names mentioned, 2 stood out: Nick Jugstad and, for the nostalgic fans, a possible reunion with Ryan O'Reilly. Jugstad seems to be Myrtle's favorite, and for good reason. The player, who signed a 2-year deal with the Utah Hockey Club last offseason, carries a manageable $2.1 million cap hit, which is essential for a team as salary cap-strapped as the Leafs. Additionally, standing at 6 feet 6 inches and weighing 205 pounds, he would bring not only physicality but also consistent offensive contributions. Jugstad is the most viable option for the Leafs right now, Myrtle stated on the podcast. And he's right. Experienced and versatile, Jugstad has played for several teams, including the Florida Panthers, Pittsburgh Penguins, Minnesota Wild, and Edmonton Oilers, and could quickly adapt to the Leafs' dynamic. With an affordable contract and a solid track record, he offers a practical solution without sacrificing too many future assets. However, it's impossible to ignore the possibility of a Ryan O'Reilly return. Yes, we know he chose the Nashville Predators last summer in search of a quieter environment, but the Leafs management still holds him in high regard. The 2019 Stanley Cup winning captain with the St. Louis Blues is precisely the type of player any contender would love to have on their roster. However, the cost of bringing him back would be steep, both in terms of trade assets and cap space adjustments, as Nashville or a third team would need to retain part of his salary. I don't think the O'Reilly scenario is entirely out of reach, Myrtle said, showing that there's optimism within the organization. However, there are doubts about how much it's worth investing in a 33-year-old player, even with his impeccable credentials. Meanwhile, cheaper internal options like Steven Lorentz, Connor Dewar, Pontus Holmberg, and Fraser Minton have been mentioned. But let's be honest, these names might serve as short-term stopgaps, but they're far from offering the stability and impact the team needs. The pressure is all on GM Brad Treliving. He knows that despite the Leafs' solid performance so far, the center position is crucial to sustaining any championship aspirations. With the trade deadline approaching, Treliving has likely intensified his efforts to finalize a deal. And we, the fans, are eagerly awaiting good news. For now, all we can do is trust that the team can weather this tough phase and hope a solution, whether it's Jugstad, O'Reilly, or another name, arrives before things spiral out of control. After all, as we all know, the Leafs don't have the luxury of wasting another season with a promising but incomplete roster. The time to act is now. The Leafs center dilemma, expanding on the potential solutions. The Toronto Maple Leafs, amidst another promising yet tumultuous season, face one of their most pressing challenges, addressing a depleted center lineup that threatens to derail their momentum. While the return of Austin Matthews is a beacon of hope, the broader picture remains dire, requiring urgent action from the front office. With Kampf, Jarnkrok, and Domi sidelined, the team's depth has been stretched thin. The immediate impact is clear on both ends of the ice. Defensively, the Leafs are struggling to suppress opposing top lines without reliable two-way centers. Offensively, puck distribution and power play setups have been less dynamic, as the makeshift lineups lack the same chemistry. This imbalance underscores the necessity for reinforcements. Nick Jugstad, as highlighted by James Myrtle, presents the most realistic trade option. His affordable contract and towering physical presence align perfectly with the Leafs' needs. Beyond his imposing stature, Jugstad brings versatility. He can play both center and wing, a flexibility that would allow head coach Sheldon Keefe to adjust the lineup dynamically. However, acquiring Jugstad isn't without complications. The Utah Hockey Club, formerly the Arizona Coyotes, is currently rebuilding but may still demand a premium return for their experienced forward. The Leafs will likely need to part with a mid-tier prospect or draft pick to make the deal work. With their prospect pool already thin, Treliving faces a tough decision. Another name that excites fans and analysts alike is Ryan O'Reilly. The former Conn Smythe winner and Stanley Cup champion has a proven track record of elevating teams in high-stakes situations. His leadership during his brief stint with Toronto last season left a lasting impression. Yet, the Predators have little incentive to move him unless the offer is overwhelming. Should the Leafs pursue O'Reilly, it would almost certainly require a multi-asset package. A first-round pick and a promising young player like Nick Robertson might need to be part of the conversation. Additionally, Nashville would have to retain salary, a process that often involves a third-party team to facilitate. The logistics are challenging but not insurmountable. Internal options like Pontus Holmberg and Fraser Minton offer short-term relief but lack the experience needed for a deep playoff run. Holmberg has shown flashes of potential, but his limited NHL exposure raises questions about his readiness for a consistent role. Minton, while promising, is still developing and would be better served continuing his growth in the minors. A wildcard option could be exploring European leagues or waiver claims to unearth an overlooked talent. Teams like the Vegas Golden Knights and Colorado Avalanche have found gems in unconventional ways, and the Leafs scouting department may need to cast a wider net to uncover an affordable, immediate solution. Another factor complicating the Leafs' decisions is the looming salary cap crunch. With Matthews' extension set to kick in soon, Toronto must be mindful of every financial commitment. Adding a high-priced center now could limit flexibility during the off-season, forcing Treliving to juggle short-term needs against long-term sustainability. Trade timing will also play a pivotal role. Acting quickly could stabilize the team and prevent further slip-ups in the standings, but it may come at the cost of negotiating leverage. Alternatively, waiting closer to the deadline could yield better deals as selling teams grow more desperate. The risk, however, is enduring several more weeks of uncertainty. Sheldon Keefe's role in navigating this storm can't be overstated. His ability to extract maximum effort from an injury-riddled lineup will be crucial. Keefe has already experimented with unconventional line combinations, but the lack of true centers limits his tactical options. A new acquisition would provide the stability he needs to implement a more structured game plan. The Leafs locker room has remained resilient through adversity, with veterans like John Tavares and Morgan Reilly stepping up as vocal leaders. However, even their efforts may not be enough to overcome the absence of key personnel. Reinforcements are not just a luxury, they're a necessity. For fans, the anxiety is palpable. After years of playoff heartbreak, this season feels like another chapter in the saga of unmet expectations. Yet, there's cautious optimism. The team has shown glimpses of brilliance, and the addition of a solid center could be the missing piece that transforms them from contenders to genuine threats. As the trade rumors swirl, one thing is certain: the next few weeks will be critical in shaping the Leafs season. Whether it's Bjugstad, O'Reilly, or an unexpected name, the decision made by Brad Treliving and his staff could define not just this campaign, but the team's trajectory for years to come. For now, we wait, hopeful that the Leafs will seize the moment and finally deliver on their immense potential. Will the Leafs make their move? As the speculation intensifies, the Leafs fan base is holding its collective breath, waiting for signs of a breakthrough.